All praise to the Creator, nobody else. So we have, of course, more jaw-dropping information. My wife is going to help me. She's going to do the reading today. And I'm going to go ahead and do what I usually do. And I want everybody to pray that the Creator will give you the ears to hear, the eyes to see things that you cannot see, and understand things you cannot understand. And make sure that you use your listening ears and keep an open mind so that you can get to the truth. The cold hard facts is you can't prove everything by the Bible. There's some things that pointed out, but you need extra information to connect the Bible to these information that'll let you know that what you're doing is wrong. So we're going to start off. Some folks asked about is the moon Sabbath. Others said about the Saturday Sabbath, which also includes a Sunday, all right, which is all pagan devil worship. And we're going to prove it again. And I got more to prove after this, but they're going to save that for the live channel for a different day. I won't be done on this for a while because the rabbit hole is so deep that it never stops. And if anybody tells you in the older books or older information to get to the truth, I wouldn't listen to that person. That's what the pastors do. In these camps, they give you some of the information, but they don't tell you the truth because they're not going to let you see the things that Creator has allowed us to get our hands on and will allow you to see if you truly do want to see. So here we go. You ready? We're going to start off.
Synopsis of Israel's serpent, moon god, Yahweh, the biblical snake god. This is posted on March 4th, 2012. Synopsis of Yahweh, snake god of Israel, by H. Abdul al-Dahir. The article, Yahweh, snake god of Israel, discusses the origins of the Hebrew god, who is Yahweh, generally pronounced Yahweh. Yahweh has been depicted as a Semitic creator god with no known idol image. However, history and the Bible tell a very different story. In the biblical book, Numbers 21 and 9, Yahweh's image as a snake coiled around a pole was carried by Moses before the Hebrews who fled Egypt, an event labeled as the Exodus. Later, according to 2 Kings 18 and 4, the Israelite king Hezekiah destroyed this snake image of Yahweh because the populace was worshiping it. However, the Israelites continued to display Yahweh's image in numerous other places, as on Hebrew altars, as epigraphic images in the Negev desert, on synagogue stones, and on various cult objects as offering jars and vases.
So they did all this on altars, which is pagan. They did this just like you have in your churches. They did just like the camps have them. On the synagogues, we didn't worship in synagogues. That would be synagogue of Satan's. And then you got the dragon wrapped around the pole, which they put on your ambulance. You got the story where they supposedly got bit by a snake, and because they had the pole that had the dragon snake on it, they was cured. So you got to realize what they put in other words, what our people were doing. Why did Israel all cry? Because they was lied to. Our people called themselves the Khan people, as the drag Khan people. They were devil worshippers. They sometimes give you a king's name, not realizing that some of these kings were actually our people, and they wasn't really called kings. They told they were called kings. These were chiefs, all right? And then they say that they're part of some other heritage when they were not. And I told you many times, all names they called us is wrong. We didn't call ourselves Hebrews. They called us that, okay? But the fact is that our people grew their afros because the devil appears as a man with afro, black with red eyes. But he is in fact the dragon king, the snake king. I've been worshiping by doing the moon, the Saturdays, and the Sundays.
The origin of the cult can be traced to several locations in the Middle East. However, there are two main trajectories for the entrance of Yahweh into the ancient Canaan, now known as Palestine. The first trajectory was from the southern coast of the Arabian Peninsula, where occurs the earliest form of the name Yahweh, which is YA, Yah, YA, Yah, may be a form of the Semitic word HYHW, which means to live, life.
YHWH, WHYH, YHAH, YAH, GUD, Mr. J, Z. All these guys y'all been worshiping, which are nothing but the same guy who was nothing more than the devil. You chicken and rice in it. You serving Mr. J, the Snake King Devil, with 333 names. He has many names because he's the devil. Many people say that they have seen him in visions and dreams. When they describe him as a black man with an afro with red eyes. Our people knew this, therefore they grew their dreads. They didn't maintain their afros, because to have an afro would depict you serving Mr. J, the devil. But there's literature that will try to tell you that if you have dreads, then you're copying the devil. No. They want you to lose your dreads, cut your hair off, cut your beard off, or to simply grow your afro and then grow your beard and look like Mr. J, who is a black devil. And I told you many times, there's nothing worse than a black devil. He had his hands and everything. Cults. We have plenty of cultists around the world right now doing pagan devil worship, sacrificing kids. They told you sacrifice a lamb. A lamb is a signification of a kid. Then they tell you to sacrifice the goat. Yeah, sacrificing the so-called devil for an escaped goat, which is not your escaped goat. We'll get to that in a minute.
The Negev inscriptions are an early form of Semitic writing which appears in the Negev desert or southern Palestine. Archaeologists have assigned dates for these inscriptions anywhere from 2000 to 1000 BCE. Later Hebrews combined the word Yah with the ancient West Semitic word for snake, HWH, Wah, to form the name of their god Yahweh, which literally means Yah, the snake, or the living snake god. The combination seems odd until one considers that the early Hebrews adopted the Sanskrit word for snake, nagas, from their northern Indo-Aryan neighbors, the Minaeans. The Hebrew word for snake became nakash. However, this ancient Semitic word for snake, way, pronounced such as Shaway and Yahweh, was appended to the name Yah, thus making it clear to all that Yah was a snake god. The name Yah also shows up in early Minaean inscriptions. According to J.A. Montgomery, Ph.D., these inscriptions date from between 1500 BCE to 1300 BCE. The Minaeans were a caravan tribe which originated in Hadramaut, which is located in Yemen. They later settled along the western trade route. Their capital was Al-Man in the Arabian Peninsula.
Now, hold on a second. So, Amen, don't they tell you that in church? When you say Amen, it's Amen Ra, it's another name for the Snake King Devil. And they named themselves, what? The place they was at Amen? We're naming our own countries after this devil. Why did Israel cry? They was all lied to. Our ancestors were a bunch of devil worshippers. And the only ones that they do tell you the true story about was the ones who had the dreadlocks. But then they turn around and try to give it a story mixed in with something else. Because they're not giving you the full story about us. They're giving you a half story and putting their stuff in it so that you fall for the trap. So you have to start realizing that it's trickery. And why would our people grow dreadlocks if the devil wore an afro and was black with red eyes? To avoid looking like the devil. That's simple. To avoid looking like the devil. They didn't want to look like him, but these camps tell you grow your afro and grow your beard. You're supposed to grow your beard. You're not really supposed to cut your hair, but you don't need no afro. So they getting you 5 ways, what they guess would say to Sunday, because y'all doing pagan worship on Sunday too, as well. Never mind just the Saturday, and never mind just by this moon. This is proving it. We got more information we'll be doing. I'll be doing on a live channel. But this is my last lesson for today.
You want me to keep reading this part? Okay.
Double part.
A large Minaean colony settled at the Dan, the biblical name for the Minaeans, the capital of which was Al-Yalah, also located in the Arabian Peninsula. This tribe settled on the borders of the Minaeans, whose territory was Kuraya, northwestern Saudi Arabia, Edom, and Moab, both located in southern Palestine. Midian, according to Genesis, is the son of Abraham through his third wife, Keturah. It was this tribe into which Moses married. These Midianites were known to the Egyptians as the Sashu of Yahweh, which means the Bedouin who worship Yahweh. The Dan is a grandson of Abraham through his second son by Keturah, Jokshan.
Eden, Dan. They told you Dan was black. No, he's white. They told you Eden was a black man. Now he white. So what you been doing? Worshiping their devil, the snake king. He had to trick you to worship him. And then a lot of people finally stood up and said we weren't going to do it because we didn't want the curse to come upon us, although it was too late. We got enslaved and we got forced to do it under a new language and a new name. That was the devil's name all along, with all the J words.
The Hebrews were not only related to both of these tribes, but according to the book of Isaiah 30:6, they traded incense with them and then transported this incense into Egypt. According to J.A. Montgomery, in his book Arabia and the Bible, it was the Minaeans who brought the cult of Yah with them from the southern coast of Arabia.
The cult of Y-A-H. The cult of the devil. And it's the cult is all over the world. It's a worldwide cult. Every church is saying the name. One way or the other, every world religion, every camp, congregation. A lot of these people who teach you on YouTube and on Facebook is saying these same names. That is the devil. Except they say the L word, which is the devil, such as Lord means devil. Jesus means devil. God means devil. It's all the devil's name. Every time you say a prophet's name, that's not the real prophet's name. You calling on the devil. Look up Moses. It's a dude, black dude with devil horn. His real name was Moshe. You're going to find devil horns on that dude. And he had dreadlocks, but the Moses that had the horns had an afro. You can look this up. Look on picture images. You'll see it for yourself. All these names is wrong by design. And he got you hook, line, and sinker. Because what folks are doing, you want to do it on Saturdays. You want to do it on a Sunday. You want to pay attention to the moon. When our ancestors said the moon wasn't even there. It was daytime all the time. There was no darkness until the dragon Draco King came and brought winter and darkness and the moon. And then try to put you under his law, and did put you under his Draco society law. And right now you live in a draconian society because you have draconian society laws, and that's why the laws messed up, and so is the system messed up. That's why they can take your kids. This is why they can sacrifice people and then sit up there, do some crazy ceremony at the Homeland Grove. They pay about $3,000 to $4,000 just to go there. All your superstars that you idolize. When idolizing is also worshiping them, and they go on there and they sacrificing your babies, and then the Rothschild family puts all the meat in McDonald's, Burger King, and Wendy's, and you go there and you buy this food, you eat it, and you wonder where your kids are. They're in your stomach. Stop eating them.
The cult of Yah appears to have been derived from the harvesting of the frankincense tree, a tree which was infested with blighting, lying in the Bible, poisonous snakes. These snakes appear to have been regarded as protectors of the precious frankincense, which, along with myrrh, gold, and copper, made the tribes from the southern coast of Arabia so wealthy. According to the Negev inscriptions, Yah was worshipped as a snake god who guarded the tree of life, which was the frankincense tree.
Now, frankincense and myrrh, we burnt a whole bunch of that as a burnt offering for forgiveness. For forgiveness from who? The Draco King, the devil? People ask me to do a lesson on Hebrew traditions. Hebrew traditions are pagan. They devil worship. Our people cried because they were lied to. So where they at? They in hell. They in hell. And you in hell too. Isn't earth the lowest hell? You in hell right now. Wanna know why? Because some of you came back to get it right. This is your last chance. Or you'll spend forever with the devil because you want to worship him bad. And the Creator let you worship him because you didn't want him. Y'all wanted a king. You wanted somebody powerful. This is what y'all wanted. And your ancestors went after demonic entities to get super abilities when they didn't need it because the Creator had already given it to them. They got bamboozled. And all they had to do was depend on the Creator, who is the unseen one, no name one, the one no name that even the angels cannot pronounce, because anything that has any flesh or any type of creation can't even pronounce the Creator's name. But y'all calling on his name. And even when you say the Creator, y'all doing Saturdays, y'all doing Sundays, and then y'all gonna go by the moon too. All you is a pagan. You pagan devil worshippers, and you love the snake. And maybe you would get mad if telling you this, but it's the truth. What, you want to skip down to what about the jaw?
All the way down the jaw.
Mm-hmm.
You want to know about the snake head?
Snakehead? I didn't went over that, right?
I guess so. Okay.
So we're gonna go about the jaw. This is attacking Mr. J, which is staying character as all these names y'all call him on camps, right? WH, LG, OD. Some of you so-called people that call yourself high priest, which is a pagan name for witchery, wizard. You're a wizard. Okay, but then you do lessons about folks who are wizards, but you're the one doing wizardry. Let's just be honest with ourselves. I pay attention just because and I see what's going on. That's why I can tell you. I see a lot of y'all making the same mistakes that I made, and I'm trying to warn you. I got forgiven for my mistakes. The Creator allowed me to make those mistakes to teach me a lesson, to humble me, so I know that I couldn't get it right without Him, because nothing I get comes directly from me. It comes all from the Creator. All of it comes from the Creator, and the Creator's not just feeding me information, He's feeding the whole research team information, to the point that some of these researchers are qualifiable to teach. I'm not telling nobody to teach. If they teach, they want to teach. But y'all follow those who got the most subscribers and think they got the path. No, the ones with the most subscribers, 9 times out of 10 are the ones you shouldn't even be listening to. Listen to the guys who don't have a lot of subscribers, because they got the information. They ain't got a lot of subscribers because things they say really hurt to the core, and people can't believe what they saying because it's the truth. And you've been told otherwise because they've been taught you through history, not only through slavery, your own ancestors and your parents told you to devil worship, and you didn't even know it. And you thought you was woke, but you sleep.
Moon gods were often associated with snakes in Semitic cultures as the Minaean god, Wad, whose sacred animal was the snake, as was Yahweh, who was represented by the Nehushtan, or snake coiled around a pole. Also of interest is the Egyptian moon god, Aya, who became associated with Yahweh. According to the Wikipedia article, Aya, Egyptian, transliterated as Yah, Jah, or Yah, or Ah, is a god of the moon in ancient Egyptian religion. His name simply means moon. YHW seems to be a variation of Jah, an early form of the name Yahweh. The Semites who worshipped YHW in Canaan were known to the Hebrews as Midianites, but the Egyptians named them the Sashu of Yah, which means the Bedouin of Yahweh. The Sashu of Yah were Semitic people who may have syncretized their snake god Yah with the Egyptian moon god Ah.
Now, when we went to Egyptian, a lot of y'all think that we kept our heritage. No, we lost our full heritage even in Egypt. We lost it a long time ago. What was he doing? Serving snakes, serving the moon, which is the same exact thing. Why? Because the Egyptians agreed with us, because they were pagan worshippers too. What the Creator said, do not mix with the Egyptians. What did we do? We mixed. We was having sex with them, having babies by them. And we took on what? their heritage to the full extent. And since we could agree on serving the devil, who was the dragon snake king, we were doomed. They didn't just fall because they were devil worshiping. They also fell because we was devil worshiping. And a lot of Egyptians today are still in slavery along with you and don't even know that they're Egyptians. That's why we say all skin folk ain't kinfolk.
I can be traced to the Old Kingdom, where he became associated with Osiris, the Egyptian god of the underworld. However, since this god was not popular until the Middle Kingdom, when the Hyksos ruled Egypt, it is unclear whether the eye of the Middle Kingdom was imported into Egypt by the early Semitic Hyksos or was adopted into their religion from an Egyptian source. The name Ah and Yahweh are spelled differently in hieroglyphics. This difference in spelling is due to the variations in pronunciation. The word Yahweh then is likely an Egyptian transliteration of the Semitic pronunciation of this word. The name of the Egyptian moon god Ah is pronounced similarly to the ancient Semitic word Yah, which many scholars have transliterated as both snake and life. The similarity in pronunciation of the two words Ah and Yah may be the source of Yahweh's association with the moon in the Hebrew cults, and Wad's, the Minaean moon god, Ophic associations in the Minaean religion. According to Exodus, Moses received the Torah on Mount Sinai. Sinai is a form of the Akkadian word sin, which means moon.
What? So the devil gave him the devil's law on the Mount Sinai. The devil did that. The devil gave him the devil's law on Mount Sinai, which means moon, which also means sin. Right? What I don't understand is how can y'all think that the Creator can be that cruel to do these things? He don't have to. The Creator gave you a land of milk and honey. Before anybody came here, and before that devil came here, we were living in gardens of Eden. We never had to work. We did no work. Columbus had a saying about us. And he called his names. He wasn't, but his name, he would say Hebrews. Oh, Hebrews, nothing to do. Because when he came, we were sitting there laying around doing nothing but reading books. We wasn't following Mr. J or the Snake King at this time. We was trying to fix it. It was too late. We had decades upon decades upon decades and so forth of too many decades of serving the devil every single time. Every time. And even when the Creator had freed us and got us out of Egypt, Moses even fell for the trap of the devil giving him his law. And then when they want to give praise to a devil that was lower than the Snake King, come on, man. Or you really want to tell the truth. Because that's what they tell you in the Bible. When the devil got them to devil worship, because Moses didn't get to the promised land. None of the older people got to the promised land. The young did. So that means all the older people, even the ones that did not get swallowed up inside the earthquake, the ones that didn't get, the ones that they didn't get to the kingdom because they were still worshiping. Then of course the Creator took the water away. The devil couldn't do that. The Creator took the water away to get them to stop serving the Snake King. Moses kept leading them to serve the Snake King, didn't he? And Moses never did really trust the Most High. The Most High told him to go over there and kill those Nephilim snake giants. No, he sent somebody to go spy on him. Weak. No discernment. And what he do? He followed the devil. Moshe was the real prophet's name who refused to follow the devil. Moses is the false prophet who loved the devil. And y'all want to believe this when the Creator said it was at the very root of their sin, wanting a king. And the devil was more happy to oblige you to be your snake king, to the point that people call themselves the con people. So we're going to sum this up, because basically, not even basic, Khazarians call on these names. The churches call on these names. The camps call on these names, and they doing the Saturday Sabbath and the moon Sabbath. They encourage it because they are serving the devil. They teaching you. That King James Bible teaches you to serve the devil. Mr. J said that he hails on Sabbath days, who is the snake king, the devil. Stop with the Sabbath, because we had an everyday Sabbath before the devil came, because we never worked at all. We was in Gardens of Eden. And then even when we finally was doing okay in America, after we stopped calling ourselves the con people, because we stopped, it was too late. The white man came over here, the blackamoors turned on us. They got with the Arabic blackamoors too, which they still don't want to take ownership for, apologize still to this very day. And they brought these people over here who love the Draco King. And they changed his name from Jesus, from Zeus to Jesus. And you call him still to this day. And even when you ain't calling him, you're just saying, oh, praise the Creator. What you doing? The Saturday Sabbath. You're doing the Sunday Sabbath, churches. And you people that be teaching online. And then you camps teaching the Saturday Sabbath and the moon. And y'all all serving the same devil. And you wonder why I can't stand to watch people. And I say, I'd rather not be bothered. Hard information. And you're not going to find everything in that King James Bible. You need older books. The fact is, if you don't get older books, you ain't going to find information out, which means you will be doomed. Because you ain't going to the kingdom. You're not meant to go to. You're fuel for the fire. And that's just being honest. That's the nice way I can tell you. You are literally fuel for the fire because you refuse to wake up. The Bible says what? My people care not to know